Now, the driving standards advisor for this one is well known in Australian motor racing and global Porsche racing for that matter. Oh,
Aaron Cameron got around down to turn 2, had it sideways, saved it, and I think he may have clipped a car on the way through in the V8. The Astras, there are 2 of them in the field. Aaron Cameron's on the fight back mission here. That was wide. Michael Armand out through the grass in turn 1. Contact now with Nathan Morecambe. Sideways, nails the throttle to drive the front-wheel drive Hyundai out of the danger zone. Loses 2 spots, has got a dinged bonnet. Not what he needs.
Looks like he's back.
Doesn't help when there's oil on the tyres. Alexandra Whiteley off the road. And that looks like it's down at turn 6, I'd say. And she's just gone in far enough that the front wheels are in the gravel.
Will we see safety car here?
They had a couple of cracks at it. Highly competitive. This was a drama. Alexander Whiteley off the road. Bogged. Actron Air Volkswagen was stuck. That caused the safety car. We got to restart it. Nathan Morecambe was keen to get a move on Aaron Cameron.
Look at the front of the field here on the run down to turn 8. Keep an eye on this. Hyundai on Honda. Was he far enough up?
I don't reckon he was.
No.
I reckon
Michael Armand's not ideally placed here going into the final few corners, but he gets ahead. Gets ahead. Nice.
Great job from a guy who we've been more used to seeing in Porsche Carrera Cup. Martin off the road. The Honda was fighting for the podium. Now he's off the road up against the concrete at the penultimate corner. It was Morecambe who was just in behind John Martin, and it happens to the right of shot. And I wouldn't mind betting there's been some form of contact between those two for that car to end up off the road. The question is, who was in the right, who was in the wrong, 50-50, who knows? Chelsea Angelo off the road. That's where Heimgartner Subaru was parked. He wasn't able to get going again. We jump on board with Nathan Morecambe. This will tell the story. Armand to the right, Martin to the left in the Honda Civic. Now that's an interesting one because he's just come across there. Morecambe makes contact with the rear. The Honda disappears off to the right.
Phillip Island Grand Prix circuit, a magnificent Saturday afternoon here. Qualifying held earlier today in what was a very wild session. It started before we even got to the first flying laps there for Andre Heimgartner, who spun the Subaru. Alex Rullo took to the grass. He wasn't alone, taking the Holden Astra all the way down to Southern Loop in car 62. Aaron Cameron, this was the first of his offs down there in the Volkswagen Golf. He would stop the session with this big moment coming down, just missing the flag marshalling point and putting a big mark on the front of the Volkswagen Golf down here. Bit of work to do for that team in the lead in. That held us up for a bit in qualifying. We added an additional 15 minutes to the session in the Rondo number 30 car, who turned 21 this week. In the lead up, this was a big moment for Chris Pither that went off the circuit down there in the one of 2 Renault Megans. Making a big move as well back there in that 777 as O'Keefe covers off any attack down to turn number 1. Brown is awkward. He's awkward through turn 1. He's off the circuit.
Will Brown out off through the scenery. This is huge in the championship.
Hasn't he, as we charge down to turn number 1. More passing moves happening into turn number 1 on the restart here. So already,
Tanda
on his
around the outside. Contact in the mid-corner. And GT is off the road. It was he and Jason Bright who made contact. He got a great run on the Volkswagen. Tanda manages to pick it all up. He slots in behind. So on the restart, Tanda made serious ground. There he goes. That's serious ground in the Audi. He's not clear of the Volkswagen on turn-in. And there's a bit of a rub and a touch between the 2 most experienced drivers in the field here this weekend. And Jason Bright put together a deal. He went and got 2 cars out of the Asian TCR series and is proving you don't need a brand new one to get a Mugget, and he gets a Mugget into the side of the Subaru. Jimmy Vernon has contact as well. He's off the road. Moffat avoids drama at Phillip Island, and the Subaru goes to the back of the grid, and Jason Bright limping, left front damage on the Task Force V-Dub. Boy, oh boy, I thought we got our action done in the first few laps. It was still on. Boy, oh boy, safety car on the track for the 2nd time in this race. On board with Bright. This will tell more of the story. Oh, boy.
Straightened him out, but then Vernon came round in front of him, and James Moffat was lucky not to be in this incident as well. The seas kind of parted. So we look at it again, this time from Andre Heimgartner's perspective at Southern Loop.
And you can hear he's got the throttle nailed because front-wheel drive car, when you're in a slide, and he's got his hands off the wheel saying, "What are you doing, Jason Bright?" And you could hear the front wheels spinning flat chat as he tried to correct it and get it pointing in the right direction. Another look from outside. And remember that in this series, the driving standards advisor is Alex Davison, the former Porsche Carrera Cup champ and supercar endurance driver. Jimmy Vernon firing off there. James Moffat had an Alpha straight across his bows. from the Gary Rogers team, from his team. They run Alphas and they run Renaults, and that is the damage to the side of the Subi. It's bent like a bit of a banana, but they're going to send it back out all the way yesterday, and it leads into turn 1 as they sort themselves out for the southern loop. Turn 2, Will Brown right with him out off the track. James Moffat with a big lose. Heimgartner goes with him. The Subaru's having no luck. The Renault's off. I talked to James Moffat on the grid about tyre temperature in these cars, the front tyres, and he slipped off the road. What a drama for Gary Rogers Motorsport. And that leaves the fight for third between Tony D'Alberto and Hamish Ribberitz in the Audi.
Yeah, Hamish Ribberitz, quiet yesterday, but sat up there inside the top 5. Another car going off. That's Cameron.
Both
Tander's in there.
Leanne and Garth are off the track. Aaron Cameron is as well. 3 Melbourne Performance Centre teammates off the road. Car 4, that's Garth Tander. Car 3, his wife Leanne. Oh boy. Oh no. Car number 22 is starting to make moves. Let's have a look at the replay. Matt of turn 1, opening lap, Moffat off the road, out too wide, cannot control the Renault Megane. Heimgartner, that's where the damage was for Garth Tander's car, because he clipped the back of Andre on the way through. I thought that damage was from over a bit further around, but in fact it was from that incident. On board with Andre. And there was the push from behind.
A luckless weekend for the birthday boy yesterday, off the circuit for the second time. And this is what happened, part 2, down at turn number 4. So damage already to Garth's car. It's Aaron Cameron going off ahead, and Leanne Tander exits stage left. Both the Audis going off the track. She's just returned to the circuit now, down the field in 16th position.
The country for the first round, so pretty short on development time, and there's not many Renaults that are racing in TCR around the world. That's tight. Bang. In fact, that's more than tight. That's contact on the way through. Moffat picks up the spot, and he has been forced to do almost a full lap at almost walking pace. This is a replay. Turn 2, southern loop. Chris Pifford behind in the Renault, and there it goes. He's off the road, and he's a long way off the road. He's on the grass verge to get his way back around the gravel trap, and he's had to limp 9/10 of the track to get back into lane.
And that let go right in the middle of the turn. I wonder if there's a bit of debris down there that's caused that to happen on that number 50.
Watch out for Will Brown. He's not afraid to go round the outside. That puts him on the inside, Matt, for the next turn. Can he get behind him back to the lead? No! Off the road, Dylan O'Keefe, the winner of 2 races. Oh, there's more cars off the road. Both the Hondas. John Martin's involved. Alexandra Whitley's involved. High drama, massive chaos. First corner, last race. D'Alberto's got damage. It's a disaster for Dylan O'Keefe. He's had the super weekend. He's had pole. He's had 2 races. Now he's done.
Aided by the fact that car is crabbing its way back to the pits. He'll probably take that back down the exit road. Here's how it looked. Here's the replay. Turn number 1 by the ANCAP safety car. O'Keefe losing it, going into turn number 1. And watch for the Hondas to come through the shot here.
So O'Keefe picks himself up. He thinks, okay, I'll get it going again. Boom! In the right-hand side. Luckily, the Alpha, the cars in TCR, are left-hand drive. That's the passenger side. That was serious. On board with Andre Heimgartner. That's Molly Taylor, his teammate in front. That's D'Alberto to the right, on the grass. He got a great jump. Making moves. Watch your head. Hondas are side by side. D'Alberto loses the rear. Martin, I'm not sure they made contact. I think Martin was out wide by himself. Whitley was on the scene too. There goes.
There's 2 more cars that went off as well.
Oh boy. Heimgartner and Tander touching again. Now that's Alexandra Whitley, the blue bumper bar on the rear Golf there. It's 3 into 1 here.
Right on the left-hand side as well. And, it's Heimgartner who swerved across at the end there. He said fishtail across the track, and here's what's Ribberitz.
Yeah, there's Ribberitz, and he came bouncing out the other side. Look at the slide. Garth Tander, we didn't see that when it was all unfolding. He had the thing completely sideways, nailed the throttle, and GT drove it out of there and kept going. Side by side, this is good stuff. But the Astra hangs on.
That's great racing from the exit of the final turn. Oh no, Vernon's off. Gets the pace sign on the inside. Careful on the re-entry down here. Just misses everybody. And I mean by millimetres.
He just missed Jason Bright through the turn 5 sweeper and then into the hard stop at turn 6. Watch this. Look at the road speed as he hits the back of the Renault. Goes to the inside. There's plenty of water there. Locked up. Wham! Into the back at about 120 kilometres per hour to the Renault Megane. Half a lap. He's up against drivers with bigger reputations and resumes. Leader off the road, Delberto off the road. I reckon he's the first of many. Tricky conditions. Moffat to the lead, Jordan Cox second, Delberto's done.
This guy was incredible at the mountain, did a super job at the Clipsal 500. He has taken to TCR racing like a duck to water. Everyone talking about his performance so far. Moffat leads the way. Tries, oh, there's contact! There's contact. How will that be viewed in race control? The pole sitter goes off. We've got a new race leader, but it didn't look like it was far enough up.
I reckon he'll be done for that. Jordan Cox made contact. TCR Australia ends up with the lead. Replay here, and this was TD. Tony Delberto, race leader, all on his own, off the road.
Oh, man. What a shame. Remember, in the top three in the championship coming in. Now, this is the one, see, the contact happens with that left rear of James Moffat, not up by the B pillar. You would have to say that is being reviewed in race control. So, shame for the pole sitter, and at the same time, the word we used before was Pioneer. Now, I don't know if it was damp at that point. Looks like there was some dirt or something on the track. Did that contribute to it with the cold rear tyres, perhaps?
Bit of everything.
Yeah.
Was damage. Talk of damage. Jimmy Vernon and Alex Rouleau are off the road, and there's heavy damage to that Astra.
That's a shame for Jimmy Vernon too, because he's one of those guys who battles a bright young star of motorsport. As we can see, he's got out of shape on his own. What a unfortunate set of circumstances for Alex Rouleau, who really didn't play any part in it.
Safety car out, Greg. No shock there. We see again Vernon off the road, loses control, and wipes out Alex Rouleau on the way through. 16th, he's had some dramas. This is why the safety car's out. Off the road, loses the rear. Alex Rouleau trying to avoid and gets absolutely centre punched in the door on the way by. I mean, for Alex, that's just wrong place, wrong time.
And you know, full credit to Jimmy for putting his hand up there and apologising.
Morecambe, Leanne Tanner and Jason Bright, that's your top 10.
Looks like Jordan Cox having a look. Oh, Pither is on at 230 k's an hour at turn one. Some damage to the front of that car.
Let's take a look. He's all by himself. Hard under brakes, locks the rears and fires it off into the fence. The Real Coffee ice brake Renault breaks up against the fence. Oh, that's a drama. He was going so well, but he's been caught out.
I do like the way these cars move around in race conditions, but look at this. Even professionals like Pither, right at the threshold of that braking when the rear stepped away. Man.
Moffat hugs the inside. It's a smaller field for this final race. We've lost a couple of cars. Bright round the outside at turn one. He's on the grass, ploughing through the scenery, makes it through. For a second there, I thought we were going to lose another car or two. Oh, Angelo, round, problem, right rear. He's cold. I don't know if there was a bit of contact.
Come back and do another round of TCR. Wait and see. Oh, Tony Delberto.
Contact down there at turn one. Now, that was the opening lap. Jason Bright ended up off through the scenery. Now, who got Delberto sideways in turn one? And meanwhile, Brown's down the inside to fill the gap on the Honda, the series leader. He said he's not racing for points, he's going for wins, he's going for trophies, and he's got himself in big drama. He's off the road.
It may have damaged the left front as well. He's lost a huge amount of ground, the series leader. Has he got a puncture or something?
Yep, badly damaged left front.
And it's his teammate that's leading the way for the Melbourne Performance Crew. Good battle going, and out wide, someone's run wide. In fact, the Honda in the middle part of the circuit has gone off. Martin, is it?
Damage to the front right of car 24, so they're dropping like flies in the early part of this race. It's the firebomb in that car. This was the big drama for Will Brown. Some contact with John Martin at the final turn. Brought the tyre off the rim on the Hyundai. He had to limp back to the pit lane. The Hondas were chasing, but then John Martin had, as a result of that contact, problems with his right rear. He limped back. Let's have a look here again. So Cameron was putting the move on Alex Rouleau. And there's contact between Bright and Tander. Leanne has managed to get going again, but back to 14th. The Enforcer and the kid on the front row of the grid, and the Alpha's made the jump to 1. Ingle slots across. He wants to cover off Tony D'Alberto. Oh, further back in the pack, there's drama. Contact on the way down there. James Moffat's involved. Alex Rouleau was involved in the Astra. They both managed to stay on the road after visiting the...
We've got to move for the lead. Brown all locked up. Martin tries to sneak back underneath him. Brown's in the not ideal. They come together, the pair of them. Brown off the track.
Oh, that's interesting. That's really interesting. Sent Brown off the road. And then Heimgartner had this wild moment over the backside of the circuit. Managed to get rolling again. Now Cox and Martin were together there down at turn 1. So maybe that's where the further drama has occurred for Martin. Or it's already Toyota 86 and even a former Bathurst A9X Tirana. Oh, Alexandra Whitley. Contact with the back of Leanne Tander. They were just outside the top 10. So there might be a discussion had after this race about that one. Replay the start. And I want to see in the background, how does James Moffat end up... a little bit of a clip and contact. I think he rode over the rear wheel of Hamish Ribberitz in the Holden Astra there by the looks of things, and it spat him straight off the road.
Clearly, the word conservative or conservation, as we take a look at this incident between... Moff gets up on 2 wheels as he makes contact with Ribberitz. The onboard really telling there.
Turn 1 on Tony D'Alberto. He's got the job done. The Alpha is through. There he is. Oh, no, he's not. He's off the road. There's contact with D'Alberto, and Cox is in the grass. Was that the curse of the commentator? Seemed like it. The answer is probably not from what he's done this weekend. It was amazing to think until yesterday he'd not taken a pole position so far this year. McAdam's off the road on the exit of the final turn, and he has put it into the wall in the Audi. The left rear has bumped the concrete at the exit of turn 12 just when he was going so well into top 5. Liam McAdam, little mistake here, turn 12. He's just in a little wide. Just catches the wall there. It's on pit straight. He's got going again.
Certainly not on behalf of Kelly Racing. They've put a huge effort in and done heaps of work on these cars, but unfortunately the reliability isn't quite there, and so obviously these cars are a fair bit behind in development.
With the Renaults and the Alpha. This is the replay. Moffat makes a move. He's in the gap. Whitley just turns straight on in. Contact. And the Actron Air Golf is off the road.
That was great to watch. Cross through turn number 6, and he's got him. He got him 2 through turn number 6. So Ingle up into 6th position now. Bryce forward gets into Morecambe, and Morecambe gets in the gravel. He's going to bury himself.
Front wheels are in the sand. He's not going to get out of there. The way that you finish the races is how you start the next one. And that was the contact that saw Nathan Morecambe off the road. He and Bryce Fullwood.
Just great to see this Renault going strong today.
Drama. Ingle off the road. The Audi, we saw it in the background, snaking under brakes. And the Enforcer is off at turn 1. Safety car's being called. Lap 3 here at Sandown. This was Will Brown with Moffat. And there's Ingle off the road now. Hard to see. He was already out of control by the time we got to there. Okay, this is a bit more of the story. Oh, looks like he's just lost the rear on the way in. And Ingle biffs the fence, and Audi's off. And that was just as the safety car was being called for Nathan Morecambe's car off in the gravel. They've got to cover the lines. Look at the challenge for the lead. Jordan Cox is taking it up to one of the best TCR drivers in the world, and he got it sideways. They're 4 wide on the grass and on the track. Moffat here goes to 2nd, and Cox has been hustled. Martin, Brown, Tander, Heimgartner's in the mix as well. Through all of that, it's let Girolami off the hook.
Mix as well. It's a 5-car train. It's Moffat, who's exceeded his best result so far. He runs in 2nd, but under siege here as Cox backs it into turn number 2. He goes across the grass, and this might be enough for Tander. There's contact further back behind with Martin and Tander, and the big winner's going to be Heimgartner.
Martin's in trouble. Right front's damaged on the Honda. He was trying to take advantage of that situation. He is done. We're right on board here with Garth. That's where they were 4 wide for a second.
How cool did that look?
Well, that was wild. Brown sideways. Are you sure this is not rallycross?
Yeah.
They're sideways.
It's a joker lap here somewhere.
They're off the road. They're cutting the track.
Final lap now. 1.6 seconds is the margin first to second. It's 2.5 back to third. That's Jordan Cox. Heimgartner tries to make the move. Locks up. Gives him a tap. And now it spins. Cox out of contention. This will light up the pit lane. Great start for Tony D'Alberto, up to second position. Couple of cars scattering across the top of the curve, including Liam McAdam. But this is the turnaround that Tony D's been looking for. Spinner in the background, it's Brown.
He's in the wall. The championship leader off the road. Lost it on cold tyres. There was no contact there. He'd already made ground on Dylan O'Keefe. He's got to get it going. He was wide and wild with the rear tyres cold. And watch how much curb he takes at turn 2. This triggers it. He already had the rear dancing. He got the curb. He got the other curb gone. Light touch on the wall. He's back to 14.
To take a look at what happened to Dylan O'Keefe here. Down at turn number 9 in car 9. And the Alpha lucky to get away with this one.
That could have been game over very easily. That's the same sand trap that claimed Nathan Morecambe after back on board here with Will Brown. And this is his teammate Nathan Morecambe up in front. Surely he's not going to make this difficult. Well, that's one way to let your teammate through. Ooh. Run off the road.
Just rejoined. Moves ahead of Heimgartner in this one. Puts herself up into the top 10 position now. There's a round to complete the first lap. Oh, there's cars everywhere. One into the gravel. It's Angelo. Heimgartner also involved in this one, and Liam McAdam.
What has happened there?
And all just exploded going into the second last turn. Boot is up on the Dare Ice Coffee entry.
Damage to the left front of McAdam's car. Nathan Morecambe, super stuff as well.
This might tell us what happened down at the second last turn. Oh, McAdam came in. He was on the grass before he got to the final turn and into the Dare Ice Coffee entry. And Heimgartner really the innocent party in all that. He took exit stage left. There's the replay from the Kangan Institute car. And he was trying to turn in the end. He faced the field in the wrong direction. But that was a big impact from Liam McAdam on Chelsea Angelo.
We get an absolute shunt into the second last corner. I mean, we're all professional racers. Shit like this should not be happening at all.
I just had a look at the cage and it's damaged the cage.
Is that Piffer? Maybe it was Chris Piffer. He's pushing hard in that Renault Megane. Morecambe's got speed on his side, but he understeers off. Off goes Nathan Morecambe. The right front's gone. Now that's happened as he's just started to skirt the gravel trap. That's clearly got to be a problem there. Something's let go with that right front.
No contact, but as he came up here, he was so lucky not to drill the back of Jordan Cox there.
And you could hear it squeal when it first happened, when we saw the live or heard the live, got the live shot of it.
Now he's up to 11th position already.
Tony D'Alberto was in position 10 the last time through. Here's Ingle, hustles out wide. That's Allen. So, welcome to racing with Russell Ingle. He plays hard, James. You'll have to...
Well, Aaron Cameron is 7th. The gap is 10 points between the two of advantage. To Cameron off the track is Russell Ingle. And that's at the top. It was high speed for the Castrol Melbourne Performance Audi.
Just looking at that left rear on the Audi, just to see if it's at the right angle. Love to know what triggered that. No doubt we'll get a replay. So what has happened there? Is that through contact? Oh, wow.
That's on the circuit. Trying to pick up how far up the circuit it is towards the top of the hill there. That's on that little short straight between turn 13 and 14. Here's the Actron Air replay, and we catch it as the Castrol car was spinning out of control across the grass here.
What we need is the lead up to that story. So did that happen on its own? Brown's not going to give them that easily, particularly with Nathan. Oh, off goes Jordan Cox. Jordan has left the track in the Alfa Romeo in the lead. Nathan Morecambe leads here at the Bend Motorsport Park.
Was that a failure on the front left? It was limping down as he went across the track.